And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You got the Pokemon Professor here, and today I'm bringing you week 2 of Draft Jam. Remember, this is a Pokemon Draft League where we have kind of null and void some of the major tiers, such as your Deoxys Speed, your Darkrai, your Meowscarada, things like that, right? This league is ran by Keegan, who is down in the description below, along with all the other coaches. A lot of fun coaches, a lot of fun content. So if you're into Pokemon Draft League, which I mean, you gotta be, right, you're here, and I'm not the best. So if you're this deep into the rabbit hole, surely you know the other coaches, but if not, go check them out down below. If you missed week 1, we suffered a loss. We lost hard. And in my defense, right, I got a couple crits, couple nasty timed crits real early on my defensive piece, and then kind of mid-late game that really took me out of the running for winning with an offensive piece in Hydreigon. Just wasn't my week, so, you know, we did our little dance, we said our little prayer to base God, and hopefully we come back stronger for week number 2, because this week we take on itzwhateva and his Sacramento Blings. Going into this, itzwhateva is coming off of a win, right? Pretty threatening little team he's got. I had this all prepared. He's got Tera Raikou, Weavile, Blastoise, Tera Urshifu, Weezing, Garchomp, Tinkaton, Necrozma, Hydrapple, and Arcanine Hisuian. Now granted, even though he has 10 threats, he can only bring 6 threats. So the 6 that I expect him to bring are really going to be that Tera Raikou, Weavile, Blastoise, Tera Urshifu, Weezing, and Garchomp. Looking at it, I think the Tinkaton, if it does come, it could be something like Rocks, Air Balloon, Pickpocket. Really just trying to waste that Air Balloon and steal an item from one of my mons, and then just kind of be a disruptor overall. You know, get up Rocks, get a T-Wave off, kind of neuter my team. Necrozma, I don't think it's bad here in the matchup. It could definitely be something like a Dragon Dance, Calm Mind setup, Morning Sun, because it is rather bulky. And then, you know, if it comes, I'm not going to be surprised. I just think my opponent has better options overall offensively and kind of defensively, or at least in this matchup. Hydrapple, it may come, right? It's super bulky. It's got Regenerator. It's got whatever Fickle Beam that hits 120 or 160 randomly. I do have a natural fairy type in Enamorous, but I think that thing can be pressured rather easily. Even, I don't want to say Grav Apple, but like Giga Drain or whatever kind of grass move it's got, could wear that thing down eventually. And then Arcanine Hisuian, I don't see coming. I just think they have better offensive options. I think you lose a real glue piece if you bring Arcanine Hisuian this week. But if it does come, I think it's going to be something like Focus Sash Lead, truth be told. I think it could be Rocks, it could be Banded Lead with like Head Smash trying to pressure that Alamomola. So I'm going to kind of prep for those mons, but the 6 that I do expect, the Tera Raikou, great speed tier looking at it, right? It outspeeds my Mienshao, my Mew. The only thing it doesn't outspeed is going to be my Ace naturally. So it's a Tera Captain, great speed, hits super hard on the special side. I think that thing could come, and I think it's going to be Tera Water. I think Tera Water, kind of coming down with the sickness. I'm down with the sickness. All these middle school booger kids, man. Oh, I teach middle school. Okay, Tera Water. You know, we have the TikTok croc, or Crocodile this week, and Tera Water really pressures that thing. I could see Tera Fairy as well. I'm not going to be surprised if you're going to be Scarf. I could see Specs, because all you got to do is catch that catch the Croak one good time, and then Volt Switch is very, very spammable. And with that being said, truth be told, you could be something just straight up Tera Electric, and then just rely on catching me with an Aura Sphere if you're not Tera Water. The reason I say Tera Water is because I wouldn't be surprised if you're some kind of bulky Calm Mind with it. Weavile, I think that thing's a great revenge killer, so I won't be surprised if it comes. I kind of expect it. I think you're either going to be Boots and SD, it could be Choice Band, and just kind of rely on pressuring me with the knockoff, with the Axle. Good late game Choice Band, Ice Shard for Wincon. Blastoise, this is your hazard control. This is your ability to spin everything away. I think you're going to bring Garchomp, and I think you're going to be some kind of like max helmet, bring in the hazards because I've got Cinderace and Decidueye, neither of which really want to switch into something like an EQ from Garchomp or Dragon Claw or something like that. So I think that you're going to need Blastoise because I do have the possibility for court change, and Ace does outspeed Garchomp. So I think that thing could come. I think you could be some kind of crazy Rapid Spin, Iron Defense, Body Press set to try to take advantage of something like my court change turning me into a normal type. It may just be crazy on my end, but I think so. Tera Urshifu, it's Tera Urshifu. Why would it not come? That's what I expect, Tera Urshifu. I think you could be Tera Fairy, just trying to switch in and take something like your natural Fairy weakness away, making it neutral. Tera Fairy is obviously really hard to switch into. It's such a great typing with the Wicked Blow, with the CC, with the Sucker, whatever. If you do bring Shifu, I'm kind of expecting setup. I think you're going to be either SD with Trailblaze or just straight up SD by itself. I do expect Punching Gloves. I guess you could throw an AV in there if you're feeling crazy, but I expect Punching Gloves, and I expect you to just try to break with that thing. Weezing, I think it's got good kind of synergy against my team this week. Neutralizing gas for stuff like my Regenerator Core and the Mola and the Mienshao. Toxic, right? I've got no just quote-unquote poison type on my team. So I think Toxic's going to come. Pain Split, just to be there for longevity, just a complete pain in the ass. I think you're going to be max Helmet. Really trying to shut down stuff like my Crook if you want to run Levitate over Neutralizing Gas. Really hard for my Mienshao to handle as well, and I just think bulky Weezing. And then Chomp, I already said, I think it's going to be that. I guess I'm not going to be surprised if you want to be SD with Scale Shot. I think it's pretty obvious for the hazard stack this week, so I need to be prepared for you to try to take advantage of that and run that against me, knowing that I know that you know. But alas, let's get into the mons I'm bringing this week, not reasons why I'm going to lose this week. Okay. Mon number 1, running Protective Pads, Protective Pads Shifu. Okay, talking like Mulan here, Shifu. He's got the little whiskers and stuff. Regenerator, Triple Axle, CC, Poison Jab, and Trailblaze. 252 in my attack, and then 232 in my speed with a Jolly Nature. I'm running Tera Fighting this week because CC, if I can damage Weezing, right? If I can hurt my opponent's Weezing, CC just bops. Yes, you could be bulky Necrozma, in which case we'll have to wear that thing down as well. But we have mons to try to break both the Weezing and a bulky Necrozma if you'd like to bring them. So, Choice Band, not Choice Band, but Protective Pad CC. I've got the Trailblaze to where I can click it against something like a Tera Water Raikou. If you are choice locked, we know we can live depending on your set 1. So getting that +1 speed, just getting the +1 speed naturally. Maybe I've already revealed the protective pads because you've gone into something, or I click the Axle on a mon whenever you switch out your Garchomp, right? I get that +1 speed. I can realistically run away with the game. Tera Fighting CC is so hard for my opponent to handle if I wear down the right pieces. P-Jab is going to be there because I kind of talked about that Tera Fairy, Urshifu being a possibility, so I want a way to be able to hit that. So Urshifu, or not, God, dang it, Shifu, Mienshao, is going to be our late game win con this week. I think if I can play it right, it's a GG. Next mon, Ponyo, AV, Alamola. Flip Turn, Alluring Voice, Mirror Coat, and Ice Beam. Regenerator ability. This is my Urshifu check. My legitimate Urshifu check. No, Mienshao is a Urshifu check. My opponent's got a lot of physical mons, right? A lot of setup opportunities with the Weavile, with the Blastoise, with the Urshifu, with the Garchomp, with the Raikou. So Alluring Voice just felt natural. Ice Beam, again for the Garchomp, you've revealed to be that hazard stack set. I'm just going to click the Ice Beam and hit you really hard. Mirror Coat with my AV, hopefully we can catch that Raikou off guard, right? That may be the way I try to bring down the Weezing. They are neutralizing gas, so they go for something like Volt Switch. I'm able to eat one, and then I Mirror Coat the Weezing that comes in thinking, well, he's just going to slow flip turn out. So if I can catch that off guard, set up my Mienshao for late game, that'd be beautiful. Mon number 3 is my Mystique, right? Little X-Man for you. Mew, holding the Colbur Berry, Synchronizability, DD, Psychic Fangs, Leech Life, and EQ. I really like Mew this week, right? I talked about being able to win with Mienshao late game, and it requires breaking mid game, and I think this is going to be one of those mons, Speed, I'm running enough speed to outrun the Urshifu, and if I get the +1, I outrun the Weavile, but also something like a Choice Scarf Urshifu, which could possibly come. Outside of that, it's just coverage, right? Psychic Fangs, it breaks that Wheezing. Leech Life, it breaks that Necrozma. EQ is very spammable against my opponent's team, and then it doesn't force me to take the Rocky Helmet chip damage if you are that on a Wheezing or you're that on some other mon, right? I get a little bit of health back with the Leech Life. Also, if I can keep the Leech Life like kind of hidden in the pocket, if Necrozma doesn't come and you do want to tear that Raikou early on, Leech Life still gives me a way to bop the Single Striker Urshifu and get some health back. Hopefully with my Colbur Berry we can live a Sucker Punch at that point. So just really like me this week. I think it's got a great opportunity. I think I've got some good momentum, and if I can play it right and take advantage of something like, I don't know, a low health Garchomp that wants to get up that spike or those rocks or whatever, I think Mew has a great opportunity to just punch a hole in my opponent's side of the field. Mon number 4 is going to be Toothless, my Hadrigan, holding the AV, Levitate ability, Tera Poison, Tera Blast, Draco, Earth Power, and D-Pulse. 40 in my HP, 216 in my special attack, and then 252 in my speed with a Timid Nature. Running max speed because you have Urshifu. That thing is speed 97, so I got a 98 speed tier mon. I gotta bring it. It helps me determine, okay, you're scarfed. Okay, you are not scarfed. You're max speed, scarfed adamant, or things like that, right? This kind of helps me. AV, looking at my team, I am going to be making some changes going into week number 3. I've already made the changes at the time of recording this, so just trying to give a heads up there. But I noticed that I'm not super offensively pressuring on the special side. I don't know if that made sense. A lot of my attackers are physical attackers. So I really need Hydreigon this week to kind of pressure on the special side, right? I need to be able to break that max defense Wheezing. Dark Pulse isn't super effective, but it hits it for solid damage. Tera Poison is because Wheezing's coming. I've got the Tera Mienshao. You're going to be toxic because you're Wheezing. I need a poison type to be able to come in and take it. Tera Poison, obviously with my AV, we can eat Sludge Bomb for days. I do have to watch out for the Pain Split, so it may be something to where I go for the D-Pulse, I gauge damage, and then I drop a Draco. Earth Power, there for the Raikou if you want to tear the Urshifu. I'd love to be able to pop that thing straight up. What else? Draco just hits really, really hard. And then Tera Poison, even as an offensive move, right? What do you want to switch in? Your Necrozma? But I'm a Hydreigon still at the end of the day. There's my Dark Pulse. You don't want to catch a flinch, even if you're Colbur Berry, because then you aren't going to be able to switch into Dark Pulse very realistically. Tera Poison also allows me to hit the Hydrapple. Earth Power for the Arcanine Hisuian if it elects to come. Just a great mon overall. I love Hydreigon. I love it being a Tera Captain this season. I'm having so much fun with it. If you get the chance to draft and build with it, by all means. Mon number 5, we got a TikTok croc, old Peter Pan looking. Holding the Chople Berry, Intimidate ability, Stealth Rock, CC, Scale Shot, and EQ. 96 in my attack, 252 in my speed, and then 220 in my defense, and then 192 in my speed with a Jolly Nature. I can't exactly remember what the speed tier is. Maybe Adamant Urshifu? Maybe. And then we talked about it being like Scarf Adamant. So with my Intimidate, being able to drop that thing's attack is going to be awesome. Truth be told, it was kind of a 50-50. I think just having Moxie as an ability, you almost want to justify it every game. But I do feel that Intimidate was the best overall. I think it's going to be somewhat of a sack game to get me into positioning for my for my Mienshao. So being able to drop something's attack is going to be massive. Now, I'm not running knockoff this week, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. I love having knockoff, but I really wanted rocks. So I did feel that rocks was going to be best overall, and this doesn't give me the best of ways to hit the Necrozma if it'll like to come, but I think the Urshifu definitely comes. and I think having the CC for the Urshifu is just worth it. We can try to play around Necrozma in different ways, right? We have the Toothless, we have the Mystique, so if it comes, it comes. It just does suck not having knockoff this week. And then last mon, we're going to be bringing in old Coach. My Cinderace holding the Heavy Duty Boots Libero ability, Will-O-Wisp, Port Change, Pyro, and Sucker Punch. 96 in my attack, 36 in my defense, 152 in my Spadef, and then 224 in my speed with a Jolly Nature. Kind of crazy little build this week. It may be so much on the EV side, but I really like it, right? Looking at my opponent's team, he's got Spikes, he's got Rocks, he's bringing Hazard Stack Garchomp. I'm willing it into existence. He's going to take advantage of the poor little professor who has Cinderace and Decidueye. We outspeed Garchomp with this. We outrun everything outside of the Weavile. So looking at it, very good speed tier mon. If I can get the Court Change off first, I go into a normal type. So I can actually eat an EQ. Now, if you're just super defensive, right, I can eat it even more. But if you're offensive, I can eat it as well. Similar with that Blastoise, right? It checks my typing offensively. I doubt I'm running Electro Ball this week, and I'm not, right? So I can't hit it for super effective damage. It can eat a U-turn from Libero Cinderace. So being able to know that and take advantage of that with the Will-O-Wisp seems pretty cool. Transferring into a normal type off the Court Change, we Will-O-Wisp it, and even though we may still be special and we aren't neutering the Blastoise per se, if he's not that body press set, still being able to get reliable chip damage off on that. And then we're somewhat bulky on the defensive side. We've got a little bit of investment, we're normal type, and then you're burned. So Pyro Ball just becomes a little bit more free. Sucker Punch is going to be there because you may have a Scarfer, right? You may be some kind of DD Necrozma, so being able to go for the Sucker on that and make myself immune to the Photon Geyser or whatever that psychic move that thing runs would be cool. Spadef, what did I have the Spadef for? I know I'm showing it on the little notes, but the way I do this, let's see. I guess Spadef was just going to be there. Oh, I can take a Scald from Timid, Tera Water Raikou from full after I Court Change. So if I'm in the normal type, I can eat that Timid, Choice Scarf or whatever, Raikou Scald from Tera Water. Yeah, so that's my team builder for this week. Let me know if you liked a little bit of change. I tried to give a little bit more in depth as to understanding my my viewpoint and my thought process, and then it also kind of helps me. This is why I'm bringing it. I'm typing a note, so whenever the time comes, not only for playing, but for team builder videos, I'm not left here with my thumb up my ass. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a good time, but you know, I'm not 40 yet, so I don't need to be developing these habits with thumbs in my asses. Alright, but that'll be it for the team builder. We will catch you tomorrow for the game for week number 2. I love you. Bye.